How about supplements like riboflavin, magnesium, melatonin, CoQ10?
Right. So so your list is a good list. So the American Academy of Neurology recently published guidelines on drugs and natural products that were useful in migraine prevention. The only one that's in the same category of effectiveness as the best prescription drugs like topiramate and divalproex sodium is a supplement called Petadolex. That's an extract of the Butterbur plant. There have been a couple double-blind studies showing that it is effective in doses of 75 milligrams twice daily. I hate to plug a branded product, but if the extraction is not done right with Butterbur, then there can be toxic alkaloids in it. So I recommend the Weber and Weber product to my patients. It's a German company. The German government actually regulates natural products, so I know what people are taking when they take the Weber and Weber product. Other products may be just as good, but I just don't have a good way of knowing. So B2 and magnesium are both in the second category of evidence for natural products in the AAN guidelines, as is magnesium. So B2 is something I recommend very often. I tell people it's the great free swing in migraine prevention, and by that I mean you take 200 milligrams twice a day. Effects develop over a couple of months. I don't expect to see benefits immediately, but it really is quite effective as a migraine prevention and preventive in double-blind studies. Melatonin has been shown to work in doses of 3 milligrams a day, although the best evidence wasn't available at the time the AAN wrote their guidelines, so it's in a it has a lower level of evidence because guidelines get out of date almost immediately as soon as they're written, and that's a good thing because it means we're making progress. Magnesium has a role as a migraine preventive. The only challenge with magnesium supplementation is that in some people it can cause cramps and diarrhea, but it's a useful preventive. CoQ10, there's limited evidence for CoQ10 and riboflavin work through similar mechanisms. I usually have people try riboflavin first because it's much less expensive and slightly better studied, but I think they're equally effective.
Great. So you mentioned Butterbur, that it needs to be extracted properly to be effective. Feverfew?
Feverfew, the evidence is very mixed, and I'm not a big fan of Feverfew based both on the very inconsistent results of studies and the fact that it may be difficult to get adequate concentrations of the active ingredients in Feverfew extract. So it is helpful in some people. It has anti-inflammatory benefits. I'm certainly not opposed to it, but it is lower down on the list than the other natural products we've been talking about.